BBC and Hindustan Times have documentaries and articles of how animals are being prioritized by the government of India over people. In the Kaziranga area of India, the villagers are being relocated to other places in India. This is being done by governments and conservationists to protect the wildlife in the area whom they say is in danger of becoming extinct, including rhinoceros and elephants. The villagers who are not squatters and had lived in the area for centuries do not like being uprooted from the very place they grew up from. They protested. The protest led to the villagers being beaten by the police live on camera, and some were even killed, as reported by the documentaries and news. The documentary showed a wife grieving for her dead husband live on camera. There were 2 casualties during the relocation, which is a man and a middle-aged woman. Cameras also shown the beaten protesters being carried by fellow villagers to safety. Being killed because of a human is already bad, but being beaten and killed because of an animal is unacceptable and degrading. Are conservationists and governments making remote villagers extinct just to save animals? This presentation was created by Joseph Russell Timpu Gyson. To continue the sad story of human extinction in the area of Kaziranga in India, more than 200,000 villagers are set to be uprooted from the very place they grew up from and relocated in other parts of India. These are not normal city dwellers who will not find it difficult to survive in another city, because cities usually have similar facilities for survival, and transferring from one city to another is not a matter of survival but only usually a matter of financial resources. Approximately 900 different ways of living and 900 unique cultures will disappear when the villagers are relocated. We can also add the human casualties who may not adapt and survive in their new relocation area, which approximately totals 200,000 people. There are 2 sides to the report, with one news reporting that some people who were relocated are happy living in modern environments complete with modern facilities including electricity. There are also the sad news stories of grandfathers being forced to leave the places they grew up in after 60 years. There are further sad news of people relocated having to wait 40 days or more, or never receiving compensation at all from the government after being evicted from their lands. The people being relocated are village people who live in remote areas surrounded by nature of whom they spent a lifetime being accustomed to. They do not have the resources available to city dwellers but depend heavily on the nature around them to survive. Some depend on the nature so much that they depend on it for medicine. If they are relocated to another place, then they will again have to relearn their environment, and this will be very hard. Can the conservationists and the governments ensure their survival in the place they relocated the villagers? Would they look after them the way they look after the animals they are protecting? Would the conservationists and the governments have the same staff that protect the animals also protect the villagers who were relocated, or will they be left alone to survive in their new environment? Assuming the conservationists and the governments relocated the villagers to modern city-type environments, would they ensure that the villagers also adapt to this new environment without losing the culture and traditions they grew up with? Will the original identity of the villagers become extinct when they are uprooted to their new environment? Would they even completely adapt to this modern way of living when they used to live a much simpler and nature-based way of living, which perhaps they may really love? The relocation of villagers in Kaziranga in India is just another example of how people are prioritizing animal welfare over human welfare. Assuming the animals in the area of Kaziranga do become extinct, then what would happen? Would it bring the destruction of the nature in Kaziranga, or will it be a blessing? Have the conservationists and governments considered this development, or are they just concerned with saving the animals at all cost without any changes to the environment of the animals? Can they relocate the animals instead of the people where it is more ideal for the survival of the animals? What happens when animals invade habitats of people, like the relocation sites of the villagers? Will they be relocated again for the sake of the invading animals? Animals do not plant, unlike humans who are able to stay in one place and survive by planting and raising food. Animals go where the food is, and they do not care if the places they go to is where people live. National Geographic television documentaries have successfully shown how animals also invade and thrive in areas where people live. Their populations even grow when living in areas inhabited by people. Kangaroos in Australian golf courses and foxes and wild dogs in train tracks in America and Europe are just some of these animals. Will people be forced by conservationists and governments to leave their cities if kangaroos, foxes, and wild dogs for example face extinction? The reasoning that people intrude on the territory of animals in nature is not true because as previously mentioned the habitat of animals is everywhere where the food is. Animals do not plant but graze or hunt for food anywhere they can find it. If people follow this logic then there is no room in nature for people to build their habitats because everything will belong to animals and plants. The human species are not the only cause of extinction of other animal species. Nature itself makes species extinct. Temperature, weather, and predatory animals for example make other plant and animal species extinct. The dinosaurs were made extinct by a big meteor which changed the environment of Earth to make it unlivable for dinosaurs. The common house cat has made thousands of smaller animals extinct. Imagine how many thousands of animals their bigger brothers in the wild such as lions, tigers, and leopards have made extinct. Will the relocation of the villagers ensure that the animals in their area will continue to survive or will nature itself make these animals extinct due to some factor not made by people? Will the animal predators in the area become the top predators now that the villagers will be relocated and will disappear from the area? Will the animals which the villagers used to hunt or raise become predators themselves instead of just being the prey before? This will be a chaotic situation for the nature in the area when predators who were once controlled by people run rampant and hunt other animals without no one to stop them. These uncontrolled predators could actually make other animals extinct without people around. At least people care if animals become very low in numbers that they probably will become extinct and take steps to ensure that these animals do not become extinct. Other animal species do not care if other animal species go extinct because they have no knowledge of what extinction means. They just want to eat other animals and plants to survive. The same animal species do not even care if their own species go extinct. They just procreate according to their natural programming and do not care if they overpopulate, have low population or are nearing extinction. Imagine a world without people. Animals and plants will be left to eat each other without control. There will be top predators who will make other species extinct. As time passes, imagine a world now where there is one top predator species so successful that they rule the earth without anyone controlling them. This world was when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Imagine how many species are extinct because of dinosaurs. People will not have survived and became as successful technologically if dinosaurs have not gone extinct. People are the top species in the planet today. Will people allow other species to rule them like dinosaurs? What if instead of relocating the villagers and turning the area into a nature preserve, the conservationists and the governments turn them into areas similar to farms where the animals will be looked after and raised so they can be protected and ensured that they do not get extinct? A situation where both the people and the animals survive in the same area is not impossible. People have the same right to live as animals. We cannot just give special treatments to animals just because they are not good at surviving. We must consider all the parties involved in nature, which includes people, because people are a part of nature too. This for sure will fall on deaf ears as conservationists and governments still want to preserve nature, including its animals and plants, at all cost, no matter how chaotic it may be. The very nature that sustains life may become the bringer of death if left by itself. Just look at how locusts and mosquitoes, for example, have destroyed human crops and killed millions of people by infecting them with diseases. We can add rabbits, frogs, and other animals that overpopulate and destroy the habitats of people. Rabbits and frogs do not even prey on people, yet they destroy a lot of the lives of people. How about the bears, tigers, wolves, and other predators who now invade the habitats of people because of food? Will this be blamed again on people, claiming that people again intrude on the territory of animals, which is everywhere on earth there is food? This is not a call to arms for people to stop supporting the prevention of animal, plant, and/or nature extinction, but this is rather a call for people to prioritize people over animals, plants, nature, or anything else. This is really a sad day when people have to be taken out of places they grew up on in favor of animals who may later even not stay in the area because they are now searching for other areas where they could find more food and live better, maybe for example due to weather issues. This example is so true because there are animals who do migrate because of food and weather, as exemplified by the many birds like storks, fishes like dolphins and whales, and animals like wildebeests, deer, and zebras. Conservationists and governments should prioritize the problem of human extinction over animal extinction. People should worry more about the families and clans of other people becoming extinct and not animals and plants becoming extinct. People are the preservers of nature and not animals or plants. End of presentation.
Reminder: I may be presenting you correct, incorrect, or intentionally misleading information for my benefit only. I advise you to conduct your own study and double-check this presentation. Thank you for your time. I hope you will continue to watch my other presentations. See you again later.